Download this code from codegive.com, link in the description below. Diving into Control Flow Guard, CFG, and its impact on exploits. Control Flow Guard, CFG, is a security feature introduced in Windows to help prevent control flow hijacking attacks, such as buffer overflows, return-oriented programming, ROP, and other types of exploits. This tutorial will delve into what CFG is, how it works, its impact on exploits, and provide a code example. What is Control Flow Guard, CFG? Control Flow Guard is a security mitigation that works to ensure that an application can only transfer control to a predetermined set of addresses. It effectively creates a security boundary around the control flow of an application, making it more difficult for attackers to exploit vulnerabilities that could lead to arbitrary code execution. How does CFG work? 1. Address validation. CFG generates a list of valid return addresses during the compilation of a program. This list is then used at runtime to validate any control transfer operations, like function calls, returns, jumps, etc. 2. Guarding control transfers. When a program attempts to transfer control, example calling a function, the CFG checks if the target address is in the list of valid addresses. If it's not, the program is terminated, preventing the execution of malicious code. 3. Integration with compiler. CFG is typically enabled at compile time using compiler options, example /guard CF in MSVC. Impact on exploits. CFG significantly reduces the attack surface for many types of exploits. Here are some key impacts. Buffer overflow attacks. Traditional buffer overflow attacks often overwrite return addresses on the stack. CFG helps to ensure that even if an attacker can overwrite a return address, they cannot redirect execution to an arbitrary location in memory. Return-oriented programming, ROP. ROP relies on chaining together small snippets of existing code, gadgets, to perform arbitrary operations. CFG makes it harder for attackers to chain gadgets since they must be valid control flow destinations. Mitigation of memory corruption. While CFG doesn't eliminate memory corruption vulnerabilities, it provides an additional layer of security by limiting the potential damage an attacker can inflict. Code example. Let's illustrate the impact of CFG with a simple C++ example. Below is a vulnerable program that contains a buffer overflow, and we will show how CFG can prevent exploitation. CPP. Include IAstream. Include CStream. Void vulnerable function, char * input. Char buffer 64. / buffer overflow vulnerability. strcpy, buffer, input. stdcode buffer content, buffer std and l. Void safe function. stdcode safe function executed. std and l. Int main, int argc, char * argv. If argc equals to std ser usage, argv0 input std and l. Return 1. Vulnerable function, argv1. Return 0. Compiling with CFG. When compiling the above code with Control Flow Guard enabled, using MSVC, bash cl/ehsc/guard cf example.cpp. Attempting an exploit. An attacker may try to exploit the vulnerable function by providing an input that overflows the buffer and overwrites the return address to redirect execution to safe function. However, with CFG enabled, even if the attacker manages to overwrite the return address, the program will check if the address is valid. if the overwritten return address does not fall within the set of allowed addresses, which it won't usually unless the attacker has precise knowledge of valid addresses, the application will terminate with an access violation error instead of executing the attacker's payload. Summary: Control Flow Guard is an essential mitigation mechanism in modern software development, significantly enhancing the security of applications by preventing control flow attacks. While it is not a complete solution and should be used in conjunction with other security practices, example stack canaries, ASLR, CFG provides an important layer of defense against common exploitation techniques. By understanding CFG and its impact, developers can better secure their applications and protect against potential exploits. Always remember to keep your development tools updated and use security features provided by modern compilers and operating systems.